Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Once again, we are with Dr. Kgomotso in our studio. She's back. It is going to be a wonderful day. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
No, man, fine, thanks. Nice to see you.
It's good to be here with you, my friend. Paul is my friend, yeah? He's not
Yes.
just the host. We're good friends. I
Yeah.
can trouble him for real.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
At least I have a doctor in the house. So
Yes.
I can't get sick. So the reason I'm here is because you are here. No. Today we're going to be discussing a very important topic.
Yeah.
That has to do with why you are a doctor.
Yes. For those of you who watched my testimony, I think you got the idea that I'm an idealist by nature. I did not appreciate God being out of the picture and people being so sick, and my training seemed deficient. I wasn't able to really cure anybody. I felt like a firefighter, and I felt like a drug dealer, and I felt like a butcher. So either I was drugging people, I was doing emergency medicine, or I was cutting them up. And I was thinking, surely there has to be something better than this. Actually, if you want to understand where I was in 2015, you can watch my TED talk, TEDx, A New Era of Medicine. This was before I had that experience in the US. It was a month before I went to the US. And I knew that there needed to be a new era in medicine, but I didn't know. You can tell from that I didn't fully know the things that I learned during that transformation that I went through. And then I came back from the US. It's almost like, no, it's not almost like God had answered. Remember, I said I read a book, Ministry of Healing. It literally explained what my job as a physician was.
Oh.
Mine was to understand the human body according to God's design. Remember that at university, when we're taught medicine in general, it is from an evolutionary perspective.
Okay.
It takes God out of the equation.
Yeah.
It presents the human body as just this machine that has evolved over time, and disease as things go wrong and we don't know why. But when you study the human body, when I restudied the human body under God, so I had to study anatomy and physiology all over again according to his design, then you understand the scripture says, a curse causeless shall not come. So you can't have a disease and there's no cause, right? So then that was the first starting point. Understand this body and this design according to how he has made it. And it introduced me to the character of God as well. And then secondarily, so you know anatomy and physiology, a lot of doctors know it, but they don't know it according to their design. They know it from an atheistic perspective. So that's very important.
Okay.
Then after you know the design, that he did not create us for sickness, but after the fall, he has put in mechanisms, because we don't live in a perfect world, where if disease comes or if things go wrong, how is the body going to deal with it? Then today we're going to talk about those principles, the things that you can do, the things that you can do. That's why I said you're not healthy just because I'm here, just in case you get sick, because you're breaking principles of health. I don't want people saying, the good doctor is not so good. But we have a responsibility, we have a responsibility as to how we look after our body. For the men out there, it's like you've got your car, right? You've got this great big bakkie with this big wheels and it's a big engine and it's a diesel and blah, blah. I don't know much about cars. Now imagine you've got this car and you really haven't taken the time to understand its design, but worse, you haven't even taken the time to understand what it needs for it to have a long, good running life, right? So you get to the gas station, petrol station, whatever, garage, and they're like 93, 95 diesel, and you're like, I don't know, put in whatever. And so in a diesel car, they put in petrol, right? And then they say, can we check the front, huh? And then the guy just opens up and you're like, okay, whatever. And they put in river water, so it's not even clean water. And they put in cooking oil instead of the other oil. And they don't put antifreeze. I know about antifreeze because my car overheated because they forgot to put antifreeze. Now imagine that. What's going to happen to your car?
It won't last.
Exactly. It's going to break down.
Very quickly.
We're doing that with our body because we have not understood that it was designed by an intelligent designer, and that there are laws that govern it,
Mm-hmm.
and then our responsibility is to understand this body, and then also then to live according to these principles. I call them the windows through which disease or health come in. So yeah, that's what I want to be talking to the people about today.
So basically, it's what it's like principles of health.
Yes, it's like principles of health, because people don't like the term laws, but they are laws of health. There are laws that govern your body. We all know the law of gravity,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So if I was to go and stand up on the roof of this building and I say, I believe I can fly,
Okay.
you're gonna look at me and think, you did not study the law of gravity. And then let's say I'm convinced, right? And then I step off the roof. What's gonna happen?
You're going to fall.
Flat on the ground, and
Yeah.
if I'm lucky, I die. Otherwise, I break every bone in my body. So ignorance of the laws of health does not protect us. So a lot of us are ignorant. We're just living. We're living anyhow. We're doing anything with these bodies. And we're suffering the consequences out of ignorance. So today I would like to remove that ignorance. So yeah, we're going to be talking about principles or laws that govern this human design. And it's important I say that that this is the human design. It was designed so beautifully and so intelligently and so amazingly. You know.
So basically, when you look at the body, you are not just looking at at an object there. It is something that you see it has got principles on how it must operate. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, first and foremost, when I look at the human body, remember I said I failed in varsity.
Oh yeah.
The funny thing, you know what I failed? Anatomy.
Wow.
Now, I don't praise myself. I am the greatest anatomy teacher now.
Wow.
Because I relearned anatomy and physiology through God.
Wow.
Right? So when I look at it, I see God's masterpiece.
Okay.
But I also see his character. So just a brief thing about your human body. We've got these 11 systems. Sometimes I say 12, but let's stick to 11. Right? You've got your brain as the control center.
Oh yeah.
It controls everything. Everything I'm doing now, the fact that I'm speaking and I'm thinking and I'm moving my hands, that is the body controlling. The fact that I need sugar going into my brain for me to remain clear, my body is doing that. The brain is in control of making sure everything works and in ensuring that all the other 10 systems are working, and all the other 10 systems are sending information to the brain, supporting the brain, and then brain in return is telling them what to do. So that's the control center. Then you need a form of communication, because the brain must be able to communicate with every other part of the body, right?
wow.
Are
Okay.
you with me? I know I'm talking
Yeah,
about
no,
things
no,
that
no,
I
no.
deal with every day. So the control center is the first thing. It's the headquarters. The
Okay.
headquarters must be in charge. It must be able to know what it is it's doing.
Wow.
And what the headquarters is always trying to do is it's always trying to preserve life, to make sure that things are in balance. It's what we call homeostasis. Things
Okay.
are in balance.
Okay.
Right? It's always seeing that, okay, something has gone wrong. How do we adjust and adapt in that situation?
Okay.
The brain is beautiful.
Wow.
So that's the control. Now it needs to be able to communicate. It needs to be able to, let's say first receive information. So you have your senses, right? You're able to see, you're able to touch, you're able to hear, you're able to smell. All of these are sending information to your brain from your external environment, because that can be a dangerous thing, right? And then, but that's not part of your communication. That's part of your reception system. Then in terms of communication, there are two systems. You have your nervous system, right? How's that a form of communication? You put your hand on a hot plate. You see how fast you move that. Your fingers immediately communicate, we are burning, we are dying. Sends information via your nerves all the way to the brain. The brain says, that's not compatible with life. Move that away. You don't even have to think about it. It's automatic. So that's your nervous system, but the brain at the same time. So it receives information from the nerves and it sends information as to what it is you're supposed to do.
Wow.
But you can do it consciously as well. Your brain communicates. So you say in your head, okay, I'm gonna go for a walk, right? Every movement you make from then on, it's coming from your brain telling you to bend down and tie your shoelaces, to stand up. We don't think about it because it's happening all the time. But this is a beautiful design. I mean, really, you know. And then another way of communicating is with the hormonal system. So the nervous system is very fast, as you can see. Information, see, that's very fast. The hormonal system is slow. So this is more like text messages and emails. The hormonal system is like the post office. It doesn't even exist.
Okay.
So it's slow and it uses the blood. So information will go into the blood. So let's say I didn't eat breakfast this morning, right?
Okay.
And then the brain detects that my sugar level is starting to go down. So it's going to communicate that I need to break down certain parts to continue to make sugar, whether I'm breaking down stored glycogen or whether I'm breaking down fat or whether I'm breaking down protein to continue my levels. But also when we undergo puberty, that's what I mean when it's slow. When we undergo puberty, the brain sends information in our blood to the different organs, either to the ovaries in the woman or to the testes in the man, to say release the hormones that is going to make this person into a young man or a young girl. And then they circulate in the blood and they start to have this subtle change over time.
Okay.
So those are hormonal systems. So that's how the brain communicates with the rest of the body. Yeah, so there's communication. But then the body also has needs, right? So it's communicating, but it has needs. It needs energy. So your digestive system is for exactly that. So it will communicate to you and say, I'm hungry. Yeah, after this podcast, that's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
My brain's gonna be like, yo, we used a lot of sugar there. We need to eat, right? So, but I make the choice about what I'm going to eat. So it says I'm hungry, it's communicating its need. So then we will eat something, and your digestive system, all the way from the mouth, will be breaking down to get what your body needs. So that's the need. So your digestive system provides for the needs. And then whatever you need, there needs to be a transport system. So your blood is your transport system. So what you have eaten, gets into the blood and then circulates to all organs. So okay, the feet, you need this, the brain, you need that, all parts, all cells. Are you fed? Are you all right? That's the transport system. And then do you have any kind of waste? Okay, let me take it. And then, okay, what kind of waste is this? Oh, this is carbon dioxide. Let's send that to the lungs so that she can breathe it out. And part of the need is I need oxygen. Let me breathe in, and then so there's that exchange that's happening. Oh, this is liquid waste. Okay, let me take this to the kidney so that it can go out. Okay, this is another kind of waste. So let me take that to the liver to sort out and then put it in the bile. Sanfoko, as we call it, Gaston. That, when we used to eat chicken and slaughter them,
Yes.
there's that gallbladder.
Yeah.
So the bile has waste in it as much as it has other things. And then that's how other waste is coming out. And anything you ate that was not absorbed into the body is going to then be excreted. So the body has taken what it needs, and it's taken the waste material and it's taking it out. And then if you can also be self-regulating and sweating, getting out waste. So that is a great body. Now tell me that was not intentional. And then of course we've got a reproductive system because we must continue to make ourselves. And we see it because every day cells are multiplying. So a cell is born, so it's new, and then it grows, so it develops, right? And then it learns what its job is, so it gets to work, and then it reproduces, it makes more of itself, and then it dies and it leaves its children to continue the work. We ourselves, and at a bigger level, that's what we do, isn't it? We're born, we grow, we develop, we know what our purpose is, we serve it, we create, we have children, and then we die and they continue. So that's what's happening within the body when it's working very well. Yeah, and that's basically how the body is working. It's a well-refined machine. It is not just a machine, it's a beautiful design. But he's also put in mechanisms for when things go wrong. So let's say you didn't smell your food, right? And you just kind of ate them and they were off, because a sense of smell is supposed to tell you. You're supposed to smell your food. People get offended. You're supposed to smell your food. You'd be like, no, this thing smells a bit off. That's a protective mechanism. So let's say you didn't smell it, right? And you just ate it up. And then it gets into your system, and your body is like, no, this is not right. You could vomit, right? That is a protective mechanism to say this thing that has come in, not right. Or maybe your liver is not able to deal with it for whatever reason. So vomiting should never be induced. It's the body system to say something is not right. That's a coping mechanism.
Wow.
And some people, they don't vomit. It goes in and the body's like, no, let's process this thing as fast as possible and get it out the other side. So then they will have diarrhea. So these are symptoms. These are not things that you just shut down. You know, when people have nausea, I know what you want to say something, but when people have these symptoms, it's almost like having a light on your dashboard on, and then you're like, I don't like this light. It's red and it's beeping, and then you just take something and you cover it, a bandage. That doesn't make sense. We don't understand what we're doing. So when people are vomiting, they just want to take an anti-nausea. No, the first thing you must say, what is my body telling me? What happened? Did I put something in? Is my liver overwhelmed? Am I constipated? So there's backup over there. So now things are coming back this way because that's not supposed to happen. If I have diarrhea, what's happening? So that you can do the right thing. But often what we want to do, especially with pain, pain is our greatest friend. Pain is telling you something is going wrong here. Deal with it. What do? We take painkillers. It's like a baby crying on its mother's back. And instead of attending to the baby, you just mute them. The damage, whatever is making the baby cry, is still going on. You're just not hearing it. When we take painkillers, that's what we're doing. We're saying, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to experience discomfort. But the damage is still going on. So it's important. If you've sprained your ankle, instead of taking a painkiller and then continuing to walk on that ankle and damage it worse, you need to deal with it. As you fix it, then the pain goes away. So this is the beautiful thing about the design. I know I can talk forever about the human body. But
so you are actually saying that this is interesting. So I thought that's healing when I take painkillers if I've got pain. Yeah, of course. I thought that's like me. So if I'm vomiting and then I get something to stop the vomiting, is it not? Am I not being healed? So you are saying I'm shutting down systems that are telling me that there's a problem.
So imagine whatever you took in. Imagine let's think about it logically. Yeah, come, let us reason together. Imagine you took something that was poisonous. And then your body's like, no, we don't want to rush this thing through the system because it's just going to be damaging at every touch point along the system, right? Because it must go through your small bowel and then your large bowel and come. That's too long of a journey. This journey is far quicker. And then you vomit and maybe it hasn't completed. And now you want to you're saying, no, don't vomit. You're saying, no, keep that poison inside of me. Does that make sense? So now you've stopped vomiting, but now it's like your body's like, okay, so then what am I supposed to do? So then maybe you end up with diarrhea and then you take something to stop the diarrhea, right? And that's what we like as doctors. We take something, we stop it. We're like, and now so you're keeping that thing longer into your body. It's like when people cough, people don't like coughing. Coughing is a reflex. It's saying something is irritating me. I'm trying to get it out. So then you take a cough suppressant. So and I understand because that's what we do. So the most classical thing, and I put it in my book, Health So Easy, is it's about when we have a fever. So here you are, you're fine, you're normal, right? And then you have a fever. The question should be, well, your body is responsible for thermoregulation, thermo to do with, and then regulation. It's responsible for regulating its own temperature, right? So it's got a thermostat, just like your fridge.
That's like my fridge. Okay.
So your body has a thermostat. So it knows I need to keep the temperature between 36.5 and 37.5 because that's the ideal environment for everything that needs to happen in my body, right? And then a virus comes into your body. So it comes in through your nose and you're sneezing, and you're like, I don't want to sneeze. And then it goes down your throat and you're coughing, and you take a cough suppressant. I don't want to cough. It's so not nice, right? So you're saying virus, stay in my body,
Wow.
right? So then it breaches and gets into your system now, because there's layers of defense. I didn't even talk about the immune system as part of the defense of this whole structure. So your skin is the first, it's a barrier. It's keeping things out. If a virus lands on your hand, it's not a problem. If blood spills on me for my patient with HIV, it's not a problem. I'm going to wash it off because my skin has great integrity. The virus is not going to go in. You understand? So when a virus gets into your nose, it's still not inside of your system. It's still, there's still a barrier, because what it wants to is it wants to gain, it wants to cross the barrier and go inside. So let's say it crosses the barrier and goes inside, for whatever reason. Then once it crosses the barrier, there are cells that are like your security guards.
Okay.
They're walking about and they're like, you are not supposed to be here. Because they're doing their rounds, like security, proper security guards, doing the rounds, like, you're not supposed to be here. So then they send an alarm. And as they're sending an alarm, there's a whole reaction that happens. And the body literally says, we have a breach. Something has come in which is not supposed to be here. We suspect it's a virus because preliminary studies must be done as to what this thing is. All right, let's raise the body temperature. Why? Because your immune system, your defense system, your soldiers work better in a heated environment, in a fever. And viruses don't like fever, right? So then you're starting to get this fever. But then is fever comfortable? No, you're thinking, oh my goodness, I don't feel well. I feel very hot and now I've got a headache because of the fever. So what do? You take the doctor's choice, Panado.
Yeah, I take Panado.
And you bring the fever down. So you're literally saying to your body, stop this warning system of yours. Let the virus do what it is it wants. But you don't know that that's what you're doing.
Wow.
Because the medical world deals with symptoms. And instead of seeing symptoms as the body communicating as to what has gone wrong, right? We see symptoms as something that must be shut down so that we can feel comfortable and continue with our daily work. But if you understood that, no, I have a fever because my body is trying to deal with this invader, what you would do is say, okay, my head, I don't need to have a fever in my head. So you can take a cold cloth and put it on your head and even around your neck, right?
Wow.
So that you feel a bit comfortable. Then the rest of your body, you're like, you know what? Let's kill this one. So then you get into a hot tub, or you do that hot foot bath I was talking about, right? And you wrap yourself and you increase your body temperature, or you go into a sauna if you're in good health enough to do that. So you might need guidance if you don't know what you're doing. And that raises your temperature. That creates a perfect environment for your defense system to work in. And it's not such a good environment for the virus. So you should get better quicker, even though you'll be uncomfortable for a while.
So that uncomfortable sensation I'm feeling is not my enemy.
No, you have said it perfectly. It's disease. So disease is the work done by your body to rid itself of something that has come in that's not supposed to be in there. And once it has done that, then your body returns back to balance. So
it's like an alarm system.
Yes. It's the warning system, and then it puts things into mechanism.
If it's in my house, then the alarm system will say, hey man, there's someone who's breaching into the house. I don't switch off the alarm without looking at the problem.
Yes, and then maybe the security company you employed comes through. You don't just send them away and say there was an alarm. They're like, well, did you check what tripped the alarm? No, it was making noise. I want to go to sleep. You let them come in. You let them do a search. You let them take, and then you realize, hey, the guys who have breached in here are more serious than what you guys can do. So there's levels, even in the defense system. There's level 1, which is just like your security guard. Then there's level 2, which is like maybe your police and your military, and then there's like level 3, which is like your intelligence, your CIA and your ninjas and your killer cells that don't ask questions. They come in and they say, we're not negotiating with this one. We're just getting rid of it. So that's how beautifully designed your body is, and it's important that we know this.
So you're saying inside my body there are levels of defense that the body activates depending on the emergency that is there, or whatever the intruder is that is trying to. So disease, so the fever that I'm feeling is not really their problem.
No,
there's something behind the fever.
Yes.
The headache that I'm feeling is not, the headache is not the problem.
Yes.
There's something behind the headache that I'm
Yes.
feeling.
Yeah. So if you just take a grandpa, which is what people love, to quieten that pain, you still have not dealt with the problem behind. So that's why it's likely to come back and it's likely to get worse because you're not dealing with the problem. You're just sweeping it under the carpet, under the medication, so to speak.
So basically, I've not dealt with the cause.
You have not dealt with the cause.
So the idea of great medicine, as you would put it, is finding out what's the problem.
Yes.
What's the cause?
Find the cause, and then attend to the cause. It's like, Paul, you get home and you see there's water all over the floor. And then immediately you take the mop and you start mopping. And as you're mopping, you're seeing that I'm mopping this and buckets are full, but the water is still coming. There comes a point where you're like, no, let me stop and go find out where this water is coming from. Then you find that there's a tap that's open. So what do?
You close the tap.
You close the tap. And then you can mop. Then you'll finish the work, right? Otherwise, people are for years, they're just mopping. They're mopping and mopping. And now that water now is causing more damage because now it's sinking in and it's coming into your wooden structures and it's causing destruction. If we don't deal with the cause early on, then it creates a deeper seated damage that by the time 20 years you close the tap, now you've got foundational problems because you didn't close the tap soon enough. Now you must deal with this as well after you finish mopping. So,
and that's happening in my body.
Yes, that's happening in our bodies every day. Every day, even as we sit here.
So basically, there are things that I've termed. Then I don't know anything. There are things that I've termed like these are problems. These are problems that are in my body, and these problems I must get rid of. So if I cough, I don't like that. Don't like coughing. I've never enjoyed it actually. Actually, I think the cough is the problem.
Yes, but
I thought the cough is the problem. So the cough is getting rid of the problem. It's trying to get rid of the problem.
Yes. The cough is trying to do something. So you're supposed to ask yourself.
So the headache is warning me that it's like an alarm to say, hey, there's a problem now. Wow.
Yeah. Pain is our greatest friend. If we can get that right mentality, as much as it's not nice, imagine your body never gave you pain. Imagine you something is going wrong and your body doesn't tell you. Then we would just die without even knowing. And that's what happens with some people. Some people's, I don't understand this one. I like to understand a lot of things. There are people who never get sick through life. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. Every day things are happening to you. How are you not getting sick? Is your warning system not working? Like you have an alarm system that's deactivated, so things go in and out of your body, and you just don't know. And these are the people you say, but he was fine. He was never sick all his life, and then one day, boom, he just died. You understand? So that is a mechanism I really don't understand because that's not supposed to happen. Your body is supposed to constantly just be giving you warnings in the same way that your car, when the lights go on, you can know, okay, that's just a petrol light. Let me go and put petrol in.
So it's almost like I bought a car and I've never taken it for service and anything. And then I'm happy that this car is not giving me any warnings. I've just been driving it for 5 years.
They've disconnected all the things from the dashboard that gives you feedback.
Then there's no feedback. And I'm happy that there's no feedback. And I'm thinking things are going great. Then one day, then this, boom, wow.
In the middle of an important trip.
I understand it clearly, the issue of pain, because I remember we grew up in the village and we used to walk barefoot and would go into the field and you would be stung by like maybe thorns or whatever, you'd be pierced by thorns and hey man, you would feel the pain. So I'm imagining now me shutting down the pain without removing the thorns. That would be something else.
Yeah, we see this typically in diabetics, right? This is what I'm saying. So diabetes is also a condition of a body warning you that, look, I'm not processing the sugar you're putting in very well, right? And then we leave it. So we take medication and we try and deal with the symptoms, not the root cause. And over time, this high level of sugar starts to damage your nerves. Remember, what did I say your nerves are? A form of communication to your brain. So now the nerves in the feet are the first ones to go, right? So now this diabetic, now they're not even walking barefooted because, we've got shoes. So they put on their shoes, but there's a stone there. Forget a stone. There's a grain of sand. You know how uncomfortable it is to wear a shoe with grain of sand in it?
Oh, yeah.
They don't feel it because that communication has been compromised.
Wow.
So they're walking and it's creating friction. And remember, they have also poor blood flow to the area. The life of all things is in the blood.
Yeah.
So the blood is supposed to be going there to feed, to nourish, and then to take all the waste. So they don't have a form of communication. They're not meeting the needs of that foot, right? And then so there's a breach, right? Then the immune system doesn't work because when sugar levels are high, the cells are deactivated. They're like drunk soldiers, like
Okay.
they don't see the enemy coming in. So now they have this sore, and they're not paying attention because who looks up at their feet when you don't feel anything?
You don't feel
Nobody.
anything. Of course, no.
Then by the time, lo and behold, they see that, oh, I've got a great big hole in my foot. And they go to the doctor. It's infected. And that's when they're like, look, we need to cut off your toe. You understand? Because now what's happened is the communication methods have been compromised. The blood supply has been compromised. And the healing mechanisms have been compromised. And this has created a problem. When we found out that you have diabetes, if we could have dealt with that disease properly and truly and gotten rid of it, then all these other things would not have happened. So disease, as my favorite author says, a disease is an effort of nature to rid the body of the conditions that came as a result of breaking these principles of health that we're going to talk about.
Wow.
So disease comes in, it's created by the body. It's saying, I'm creating this situation because you have broken the laws of health. This is how I'm going to try and remedy the situation. But we don't do that. We don't do that. I want to read something to you, but yeah.
Basically, we don't help the body.
We don't help the body. We work against the body, actually. But we don't know it. It's out of ignorance. My people perish for lack of knowledge.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I've done it a lot. Whenever I have problems, I find ways quicker to get rid of the problem, and I think then I'm healed.
Yes.
And you are saying then you just shut down the soldiers to say, guys, sit down.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so this is where you see the grace of God. Because this is why I say the human body really reveals the character of God. You see that there's grace built in because it's not in the same day that we do harm to the body that it falls apart. It's like, okay, what can we do? Okay, this person is quite ignorant. So what can we do? So it's always trying to preserve life. So it's like, okay, this person is eating a lot of sugar. All right, how am I going to deal with it? Okay, let me take the sugar and let me have them pee it out. That's why diabetics present with, they say, I'm urinating a lot, right? And then they're peeing it out. And they're like, okay, let me switch on the thirst, right? So that they can drink water, so that we can dilute this sugar. So they're like, I'm drinking a lot of water, right? And then the cells are starving because the sugar is in the blood. It's not inside the cells where it's needed. So then the body's like, okay, we need sugar. We don't have sugar, but your blood is full of sugar. And so they start to lose weight. So these are and they're feeling tired all the time, even though they're eating. Why? Because they're getting the energy in, but it's not going into the cells. It's remaining in the blood and creating a problem. And I think your body is almost screaming and saying to you, do something, right? Do something. But what we do is not the right thing because we have been incorrectly educated. And what the doctors do is also incorrect because we have learned the body incorrectly. We have removed God from the great design. But it's not in the same day. People can have diabetes for 20 years and there isn't any damage that's happening, but slowly it's being worn down. That is the grace of God, that it's not immediately that we are destroyed, right? and that's why this podcast is there, that if you've got any disease, what you want to do before damage fully sets in, before you cross a line of no return, you want to implement restorative principles so that you can restore your health, not cover it. Drugs don't heal diseases. This is what I was saying to my colleagues. Is this all we do? We just keep giving people drugs. And he said, you'll get used to it. And I said, I don't want to get used to it. If I can't practice proper medicine the way I imagined as an idealistic person, then I will not practice this kind of medicine. And God in his grace and mercy then brought me into a system of healing that works. So I wanna read something to you.
Wow.
I don't know if I
This
told
has
you
been
that.
interesting. Yeah. If you've got any comment, if you've got any question, please, don't leave it in the comment section, and let's discuss. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead. Sorry, I was not interrupting.
it's all right. It's all right.
It was. I'm just too excited.
And I mean no offense to anybody, but there are people in the world, there are professions in the world that I've always been very skeptical of. It's lawyers, it's doctors, and it's pastors, right? And the doctors was because when I was sick, I was forced to get vaccinated against my will, and I thought never again will I allow somebody to have that great a power over me, that they would do to my body something I don't want done. So I was happy to study medicine, because imagine if your doctor gets things wrong, you will die. You will suffer the consequences.
Serious problem.
Yes.
And of course, we trust our doctors with our lives.
I'm gonna read you something that is amazing.
Okay.
Then there's lawyers, right? If they get your case wrong, you could end up in jail, or you could end up in big trouble.
Yeah.
And then there's pastors as well.
Oh.
If they preach the wrong gospel to you, your salvation is gone.
It's at stake.
Right? Yeah.
It's at
So
stake.
eternal life is gone.
It's one department you can't just delegate to another person to say deal with it and then give me the results. No.
But can we delegate our health to somebody else? So that's why I have studied law, I have studied medicine, and I've studied the Bible myself. Because, like, sure, you can take all the money I have and leave me broke, but I don't want to lose my health, and I don't want to lose my freedom, and I don't want to lose my salvation. So these are responsibilities for me. And I want to read something from Councils on Health. Remember, I was given the book Ministry of Healing, and I said, who's this Dr. White? So I love the reading, the writings of Ellen White. Really, I read Ministry of Healing. It gave me a picture of what my responsibility as a doctor was. And so in Councils on Health, section 2, it's titled Essentials to Health. Essentials to Health. It's about the knowledge of health principles, which we're going to outline. Don't worry, stay here.
Okay.
We just needed to lay this foundation as to why it's important for you to know why you need to know these things. So a knowledge of health principles, it says, men and women should inform themselves in regards to the philosophy of health. So this is your responsibility, my responsibility, to inform myself in regards to the philosophy of health. The minds of rational beings, God made us rational, right? The mind of rational beings seem shrouded in darkness in regard to their own physical structure. We don't know our own body. I mean, most men know their cars better than they know what's happening in their chest, right?
Wow.
Like, where's your heart? It's like, but you know where your engine is and your radiator and your spark plugs, but you don't know what's happening you don't know what's happening with your kidneys, but you diligently stop at the garage and make sure that your tires are pumped and all of that. So we're shrouded in darkness in regards to our own physical structure and how to preserve it in a healthy condition, which is what we do with our car. We have a service plan that we pay for, right? The present generation, listen to this, the present generation have trusted their bodies with the doctors and their souls with the ministers. When patients come in and they consult, and then I make a diagnosis and I ask them, so what do you want us to do? They're like, you're the doctor, tell me. I'm
Mm.
like, that's your body.
Mm.
If I tell you that I should just cut open and take things out, they're like, you know best. And I realize that it's part of the education system. It's
Yeah.
very difficult to change. People are like, yeah, but everybody is in their profession. I'm like, yeah, but this is your body.
Mm.
At the very least, don't you want to understand? So one of the things, I take a long time when I consult with patients because I teach them.
Mm.
And I'm like, you need to understand and you need to make an informed choice.
Wow.
You can't just let me do whatever I think is good and proper with your body. It's your body. Imagine I go, oops, maybe that's not what we should have done. Now you must live with the result of my oops. Right? So the
Wow.
present generation have trusted their bodies with their doctors and their souls with their ministers.
Oh, yeah.
Do they not pay the minister well for studying the Bible for them? That they need not be troubled. And is it not his business to tell them what they must believe and to settle all doubtful question of theology without special investigation on their part? People don't do that, right? It's true, you know, you don't question your pastor. Oh no, my pastor says the dead in heaven, or the dead, my ancestors. You take it as, you don't go and search the scripture for yourself. Right? And then what if they're wrong? Your salvation is gone. The blind leading the blind both fall into a ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they are sick, they send for the doctor, believe whatever they may tell them, and swallow anything he may prescribe. For they do not pay, for do they not pay a liberal fee? And is it not his business to understand their physical ailments and what to prescribe to make them well without their being troubled with the matter? You know, there's a drug called methotrexate that comes with a black label on the box because of how dangerous it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And people don't even bother to go on Google and research what's this thing that has been given to me. And then you suffer the side effects, and the doctor's like, yeah, I get I'm treating you, but these are the side effects.
Wow.
And then you must live with it. And we swallow. Like,
Wow.
I don't know what else to say other than that.
That is scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're in trouble.
I can repent.
And I'm guilty.
We're all guilty, Paul.
I'm guilty because the doctor has gone to school for 7 years. He should know what to do with my body.
And they mean well. You know, I don't want you to start thinking your doctor is evil.
Yeah, no.
They are simply practicing that which they have been taught. But I found what we were taught wanting. I said, no, it cannot be. There has to be a better way than for us to poison you a little and hope you get better and don't die from the poison. The last time I took a pill was in 2012, and yet I continued to write scripts. You can imagine I felt like a hypocrite. I was giving out these prescriptions for things I would never take. I will not take Panado because of the effect they could potentially have on my liver. I'm not saying don't take your medicine. You know, in emergency situation, I've used medication. I'll be like, okay, I know what the cause is, but right now, if these symptoms, if somebody is vomiting profusely and they're just not stopping, and I'm like, I know why they're vomiting. Okay, I need to stop this, otherwise they're going to become dehydrated or they're going to tear their esophagus. I will give the drug, but I understand that just because now they feel better that I've given the drug and it has stopped, my job is not done. Now I need to fix the underlying cause. You understand? So in emergency situations, I have no problem with the use of drugs, but you're taking them for life because the diet is wrong. No. And we need to get into these principles. I think people get the idea. The point is, your body is designed, it's an intelligent design by an intelligent designer. It has grace and mercy. It has mechanisms of dealing with our daily sins.
Amazing.
Right?
Amazing.
But before probation closes on your internal organs and structures, before it says I am broken, there are things that we can do to maintain health and to restore health. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. This has been scary. Of course, it's challenging me a lot. So you are saying then we need to understand ourselves. It's important.
Yes, we need to understand.
Every person needs to understand who they are.
Instead of dissecting frogs, we need to be studying anatomy and physiology from primary school. From primary school, children need to know their body and how it works.
and the systems that are there in place,
Yes.
and stop ascribing things that are good to being bad. Like, hey, no, because we've called alarm systems very bad things. Like, my alarm systems, I've named them. I don't want them. I don't want them.
Yeah, we don't want pain.
So without realizing that, they are helping me to realize there is a problem.
Yes.
So yeah, it's like not. I imagine living my life with all the thorns I've had, and they're still in my body. Wow, that would have been scary.
You'd probably be dead.
Most definitely.
Yeah, without any of these things.
So then what I just now, I mean, you've sparked my interest. I need to know what are the principles then that you are describing of health. What is going on there? What is this all about?
All right. So the principles of health, the laws of health, are the laws that govern your body, the things that you can implement and that you can do on a day-to-day basis to keep this body structure working, that work in harmony with the body, that give the body the necessary support, whether for health maintenance or for health restoration in case you've got diseases, so to be restored back. So many people.
So there's health maintenance, like
Yes.
so that you keep healthy, you keep
maintain
going,
health,
you
yes.
maintain healthy, just like you maintain a car. You
Yes.
need to keep on maintaining. So
Yeah,
that it
when
keeps
you
on
take it for maintenance,
Yeah.
it's still running again.
It's still running,
Yeah.
but you need to keep it in an optimum condition. Oh.
Yeah, and then there's fixing the problem.
Yeah,
So sometimes there's a nail that gets into the tire, and then you need to go and fix that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
there are other problems that I need to go and fix too, but I need to also know how to maintain the car.
yes.
Wow, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we're going to look at these, and these are foundational. And by that, what I mean is some people assume, oh, drugs are bad, I'll just take herbs. That's a wrong mentality, right? I'm not talking about it. We first need to have
What?
the foundation in place.
What?
Yeah. So people are like, okay, I have pain.
Yes.
Let me rather take devil's claw, right? So fine, you have taken a herb that is not as harmful maybe as the drug, but you have still not addressed the cause. If your problem was because you were not drinking enough water, even without taking devil's claw, you could just drink water and not have that problem. Now people are living on herbs instead of putting the foundational principles in place because we don't want to change our habits. So today I'm not talking about herbs. I'm not talking about remedies. I'm talking about your day-to-day foundational principles that maintain your body in good health. This is foundational. If you don't do this, you will be on herbs and you'll still suffer, just less because they work better with the body. But that's not what we're talking about. So we're not replacing the drugs with the herbs. We're putting the foundational, the structures, the right mechanisms in place to keep your body healthy so that you're not taking the herbs all the time. It's important because people call me and they're like, oh doc, I have pain here and there, what herb can I take? I'm like, no. They're like, huh? I'm like, no, I'm not telling you what herb you must take. I want to know how you're living. Why do you have that? Why is your body doing that? Your body, it's telling you something. What have you done? Oh doc, I went and they say my sugar levels are high. What herbs should I take? No. What do you eat? Are you exercising? Are you drinking water? Are you stressed? Let's deal with the cause, and maybe we don't need the herb. Or maybe we need the herb, but we need it for 3 months to just get you there, and then you can come off it. You don't need to be nursing this thing, except if you have no intention of making the changes.
It will still be wrong to just replace it. You say, okay, I don't want to take these drugs now. Okay, now so then I need to take. You still have not dealt with the actual problem.
Yes, and that's what most people
It's just that now you're finding something that is not as bad.
Yes.
To help you with the problem, but you have not addressed the actual.
And there are people that I say to them, look, we need to identify the cause. And we identify the cause, and they're like, I don't want to make those changes. I tell them, then you're better off taking your drugs. Because if then they suffer very badly because they refuse to address the situation, I'm going to be held liable that you told them to stop taking their medication, but they didn't do the necessary changes. So I'm like, no, then go take your drugs. If you're not willing to put the foundational principles in place, please take your drugs. Or make up your mind, but just you have to do something. But it's not about just replacing the drugs with the herbs. All right. So shall we go into the principles?
Yes.
I'm excited now to share the things that you can do.
Wow.
Look,
This
I
has
will
been
say
eye-opening.
it's not it might not be easy, some of the things you're going to learn right now, but you need to come back and watch the next one when we talk about the deep dive into the mind,
Okay.
about why you resist the things that your reasoning mind says, yeah, that sounds right, but then there's another section that says, yeah, but I want to do what I want to do. Yeah, so you need to come back. For today, I just need you to just suspend your judgment, ne? And just reason with me about, could this be right or not, even if you're not committing yourself to doing it. Does that make sense? So let's look at these principles. Some people, if you're an Adventist, you would know them as New Start, or if you've encountered a lifestyle medicine doctor, actually people in the world. So this is an Adventist message. But the world is taking hold of it. There are doctors now who are trained as lifestyle medicine practitioners, and they use the Adventist health initiative.
Okay.
So they studied the Adventists and they took some of the pillars. So they say they have 6. New Start presents 8 principles. I'm going to present, I think it's 11 principles. And it's called, so I won't use New Start. I'm going to use something called restoration, because I like it, because the whole point is to restore your body back to health, right? I have a tendency of skipping some of the alphabets. So if you will allow me. So this is my book, Health So Easy. In it, the chapters that I have, I don't have any copies right now. What I'm doing is I wrote it a number of years back, and I've learned so much in between. So I want to update it. But basically, it explains what is disease, the intelligently designed body. So what I've explained now, the operating systems of the body, and then the laws of health, which is what we're talking about. So I coined restoration for myself, and then the law of causality, because a curse causeless shall not come. There's a cause for the things that we're going through. So this is Health So Easy. Now here, I just wanna write restoration, and you can do this for yourself at home, or you can always come back and watch. So R is for rest, right? We live in a very busy world. It's important that we have time for rest, and I often say there's 3 kinds of rest that we need to have. So I'll talk about the common one: sleep. Sleep is an opportunity to rest our physical body as well as to rest our minds. And when we're sleeping, there's a restoration that happens to both systems. But it's important to sleep at the right time and under the right influence. People are like, what? Sleep is sleep. No. When you're tired and you nap during the day, right? It's because your brain has accumulated waste. Let me simply put it that way. And that's why you can take a 20-minute nap and then you wake up, you're feeling refreshed. While you're sleeping, it's like the cleanup team will come and remove that waste, and then your brain is able to continue working. So you sleep because you are fatigued because of the accumulated waste, right? But at night, we should actually not sleep because we're fatigued. We should sleep under a hormone called melatonin. Melatonin. So when the sun is setting at night, that information comes to our brain, our control center, via our eyes. And our eye says, nighttime is coming. So it sends that information to the pineal gland, which is in your brain. And it says, you need to release melatonin so that all systems of the body knows that it's nighttime and we're switching into night mode. Right? Yeah, this is beautiful. So then melatonin is released everywhere. It's telling the kidneys and the liver and the gut and everything, it's nighttime, switch to night mode. The digestive system is thinking, yeah, no more eating, I can rest and repair. The liver is like, yeah, we can rest and repair. The kidneys, every other system. Now you get into your house, having seen that, the brain is releasing melatonin, and then boom, 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 you've got all these fluorescent lights on, and then you're on your phone, and then the TV is on, and then you're eating, and then your brain is like, I thought you said it's nighttime, but the lights are still on, it's bright. So then your eyes pick that up. It says, no, stop making melatonin. We were confused. It's not nighttime. So then that's why then people struggle to fall asleep, because we had received information that it was dark and it was nighttime, melatonin was coming, but then we don't listen to it. And then we do all of these things to stop the production of melatonin. And so we continue. And so by the time we sleep at midnight, it's because we're fatigued, but we're not sleeping under melatonin. Why is it important to sleep under melatonin? Then repairs can get done. That's a different kind of sleep. Repairs can happen to all your body systems. Cancer cells can be killed because it's a repair mode. So melatonin, if you continue to be exposed to bright light after 9 p.m., 10 the latest, then you shut down your melatonin, and so you have to wait to be fatigued to sleep. So rest is important, sleep is important, but you have to sleep at the right time to allow for melatonin to be the reason why you're sleeping, and not just sleeping because you were tired. Because and you can't just be sleeping because you drank sleeping tablets. Sleeping is an active thing that happens. Your brain is very active during that time. It's taking everything you're learning right now, it's going to be saved in your brain at night while you sleep. So if you don't sleep, then you're not, that's why people become forgetful. Um, so that is keeping your body clocked. So that's what that rest is about.
You're scaring me now because I don't switch off the lights. I like sleeping during. I mean, like when the lights are on, and so that when I wake up, I can do whatever I want to do.
I noticed.
Oh,
yes, and this is why.
and then I also sometimes I'm on my phone. I wake up, I read, and then and then I sleep when I'm tired. I thought that's
Yes, I know, and that's why we're having this conversation. You're not the only one. When I
wow.
didn't, when I didn't know this, I was a night owl. I would, because nighttime is quiet. I would just be working through the night.
Yes.
But that does not allow your body to do the work it was designed to do. So for everything, there is a time and a season. It's a biblical principle.
Yeah.
There's a time to work and there's a time to sleep. So the body physiologically sees the light coming down, and then it says it's time for us to sleep. Now, some people sleep with lights on because they don't like the utter darkness. It's fine. We still have our eyelids that can block that, as long as the light is really not interfering. But it's better to have soft light, and that you can, the sun is from up here,
Yes.
and it shines down. It's better if you can have a soft light that you can put down below, so that you can see, so that your brain is understanding that no, it is not the brightness of light in the day. So it's all right. Still continue releasing melatonin, but you have to be sleeping the latest by 10, because otherwise you don't sleep under melatonin, and you continue doing that. You increase your chance of having diabetes, your chance of having cancer, because the body cleans up cancer cells under melatonin while we're sleeping at night. So that's the law of rest. That's why we find that people who work night shift are more likely to end up with diabetes and things like cancer. Now, don't get scared because you're working a night shift. Don't go and submit your resignation. We need to see how we can help your body in dealing with that. The world is very artificial in how it works. We're not living in a way that's conducive for our health. We have created these artificial lights and this artificial lifestyle that does not work with our body design, but we have to see how we work within that. So sleeping under melatonin, resting, if you're a brain worker, so if you're somebody who's like an accountant and a doctor, and all you're doing is sitting all day and just using your brain, you need to at some point rest your brain and activate your muscles. And if you're a muscle worker, so you're drilling all the time and you're physical in your activity, at some point you need to rest your muscles and activate your brain. So the system must be balanced in that way. And then another form of rest is, you know 6 days shall you labor, and then you have a day of rest. Studies have shown that those who keep the Sabbath live longer because they're working according to the great design. That's why it's important to not take the design out of it. He knew what he was doing. God didn't need to rest, but we do, because we are finite beings who need finite resources. You continue working, 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 working. You're like working your horse to death, and you're the horse. So it's important to take that time to rest. So sleep and keeping the Sabbath and resting your physical and your mental energy. That's the law of rest.
That's rest.
Yes.
That's scary.
So are you resting?
Yeah,
So this is how you start to do your own little diagnostics and putting foundations in place.
So, like that nap that I can take during the day is good,
That's good.
But it's not
It's not
it's not the
restorative.
restoration.
No.
It's not restorative.
No.
It's just there for maybe the body wants to get rid of something and then
Yeah, so that you're also not mean and nasty to us, because now you can't self-regulate because you're so tired.
Wow.
Yeah, and you don't make
And then
mistakes.
when I sleep at night, then now this one is under melatonin.
Under
That's
melatonin.
when I get the actual benefits of
Restorative sleep. Yes, you'll look younger. Your body's just gonna, your immune system is just gonna clean whatever it needs to clean, kill whoever it needs to kill. You know, even your own cells that have gone this way, they get arrested at night and they get cleaned at night. But if it's not under melatonin, then that's not gonna happen.
So those who sleep, let's say they sleep like there's this cousin of mine, I love him a lot. That man can sleep at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, like, for a whole week.
They're applying for disease. It's as simple as that. And that's why I say the reason they're functional, I get enough. That's grace. There comes a time when the body is like, it's been 20 years. We've never had an opportunity to do restoration in this body, to do proper spring cleaning and maintenance, because we have not had that kind of sleep under melatonin. And then they're like, dude, you've got cancer. Dude, you've got diabetes. And it's like, how? You know? And it's like, yeah, you haven't slept. You have dementia. You know, your brain is like, I have not had the opportunity to be restored. Now you're forgetful because you have not been storing into place the things you need to store. So sleep is absolutely, absolutely, absolutely critical and important.
Yeah. So basically, if let's say you've got like you're under pressure, maybe your work demands a lot, and then you'd rather sleep early, and then
you'd rather sleep at 9 and wake at 2, because melatonin is most effective during those hours.
Okay.
So the quality of sleep that you get between 9 and 2 is so much better and so much restoring to your body than if you slept at 2 until 6 or even 2 till midday. That's not the same thing.
That's not the same thing.
Yeah. So you'd rather sleep at 9 and wake up at 2 and then do the work that you need to do. You'll find you are so efficient. It's like at night. It's like your brain is almost like a computer, a very complex one. It's like, I'm trying to shut down, and when you're trying to get me to do work, like, really? No. You're working against your own body. You're going to break it.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
All right. Then the next law, because we've got a lot to cover, is E, for exercise. Right. Now, I know this is not my favorite thing. Imagine I used to be attracted to athletes.
Yes.
But exercise have so many benefits. It's been said that if we could put exercise into a pill, that person would be rich if it was paying, because of the benefits that come from exercise. It benefits your heart and your cardiovascular system. So that's your heart and your vessels. So helping maintain blood pressure, making your heart strong so that it pumps blood. So your heart rate comes down when your heart is that strong from exercise, which means when your heart rate comes down, it means in a minute, your heart can be beating 60 times. Because it's so strong, the force with which it's pumping the blood, you know, it doesn't need to be pumping all the time. Does that make sense? So that preserves your heart in itself. Exercise is great for your brain. You release chemicals when you're exercising. You release endorphins that make you feel good. You release opioids that numb pain. And you release a chemical BDNF, which feeds your brain. So that's the only reason I exercise, because me now, I'm obsessed with the brain, right? Anytime I'm like, oh, I need to do something, I need to activate BDNF, I know. I exercise. It's almost like manure for you, for your nerves in your brain. So it allows for new brain cells to come up, and it allows for new connections to happen. So exercise is very important. It's important for your for digestion. So after you eat, you go for a walk, because after you eat, what do you want to do?
I feel sleepy.
Sleep, right? Because blood is rushing to your stomach.
Okay.
But if you start exercising, you're activating your muscles, and you're telling them, you start using energy, because I just put in systems. You exercise for 15 minutes after, not hectic exercise, just a walk, right? You will find that you're not sleeping anymore, because you've helped to initiate that process of digestion, and blood is redistributed evenly to your brain and everywhere else. The worst thing you can do is eat and then try and go do some mental work. you're just working against the system. Nothing is going to your brain, it's all going to your stomach. So exercise is good. Exercise is good for your bones.
What?
The worst thing you can do is eat and then try and continue with mental work. After you eat, blood has to go to the stomach to deal with the load that you have put there.
So what about those who want to eat while they are doing mental work?
No, you're working against your body. Either your food is not properly digested or your mental work, it's like this thing is taking long for me to do.
Wow.
You better eat than go for your. So rather move away from your desk, go eat somewhere, and then kind of walk back. So that you're getting that.
Wow.
Exercise is important. It activates your immune system. It helps you sweat. It helps you go to the toilet. Some people eat, they go for a walk, they come back, they have a number 2, a bowel movement. So exercise it strengthens your bone. That's what I was saying, especially if you're doing impact exercise, and it strengthens your muscles as well. And if you have strong muscles, especially if you have strong legs, then you will age gracefully. You'll continue to be able to be active and mobile. It's important.
Beautiful.
Yes. So exercise, that's another law.
Get your body moving.
Get your body moving. Yeah, I like that. I like that because I'm not saying go sign up to go to the gym. Yeah, you can be in the house. Get your body moving. You're washing the dishes after eating and you're putting the plate up and you're squatting to put the plates down. Be active in the home as you're clean and make that into physical activity. Go into the yard and work in the garden.
Wow.
So you're putting your energy into the garden and the energy is coming back as food. Just move. Don't be a couch potato. Sitting is said to be the new smoking. We know that smoking causes disease.
Yes.
Now we know that a sedentary lifestyle where you're not moving is just as bad for your health as somebody who smokes. Now take a moment and think about that.
That is scary.
Very scary. Because we never stop eating. So you're eating. What are you doing if you're not using that food for energy? And then we need maybe to stop eating. But even if you're not eating, you need to move. The people who are not moving are very sick or they are dead.
So you're saying that when I exercise, there are things that get activated and things that get released in the body. I get more benefits just from.
Yes.
Wow.
The benefits from exercise are limitless. They are amazing and they are beneficial. The only people is when we're gonna talk about temperance, doing things in moderation, right? But this is not for you. This is not for a majority of people. Some people over exercise, which can be damaging to the body. But that is not for the majority of the population. So I don't even want to talk about that.
In actual fact, we just sit and watch TV and sit and sleep on.
And we drive TV, everywhere. Like
we drive everywhere.
You go buy bread over there, you drive.
You drive. Yeah, I don't like walking. I know I've made enough money to buy a car. I need to drive.
Yes, and when you get there, you want the parking that's closest to the door.
Yes, of course. I get there as convenient as possible. I can spend a whole month without ever exercising.
Yes, you get to the mall, there's stairs and there's escalator and there's elevator. Whoever takes the stairs? Nobody. When I get off a plane, I take the stairs and people are looking at me like, you big girl. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm healthier than you. And I need to say that because people assume that exercising is for people who want to lose weight. And then you find these people who have very slim bodies and their resting heart rate, when they're not doing anything and they're sitting down, the heart is pumping at like 80, 90 beats per minute. And it's like, what kind of weak heart do you have? And they don't even know what you mean. And they have zero strength. They have no strength in their legs. They've got no muscle. They've got no muscles here. It's like, what are you going to do with this weak body and this weak heart? Right? So now you tend to find that people who are bigger and they're trying to lose weight, they may be healthier. They've got healthier hearts and stronger muscle because they're trying to lose weight, but they're getting all the other benefits without losing the weight. I'm not concerned so much about your weight. I'm concerned about how good your heart health is and how strong your muscles are. And then the weight issue becomes secondary. Yes, it's not, and I'm not saying be big and, but let me check. Because you can find somebody who's a little bit overweight, but they've got a strong heart because they've been exercising and they're hiking and they're doing all of these things. And the sugar is well controlled and everything. It's just that, they've got this extra fat.
So the heart to be strong, it's okay.
The heart is a muscle.
Yeah, I mean, is it one what over 95?
Or when you look at the blood pressure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's not what you're talking about, the strength of the heart.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
What is this?
So you look at the heart rate.
Oh,
it often tells you the strength of a heart. Obviously, not always, because if now you and me go for a walk, by the time we come back, our heart rate is going to be up.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
There are other ways to check. If you go to a cardiologist, they will check the strength with which the heart pumps out blood.
Wow.
Right. But often that we do in people if we suspect they've got heart failure. But for everybody else, we get them to rest and we see what is your resting heart rate. If your heart is beating a lot when you're resting, it's like, what's wrong with you? Do you have a medical condition that's causing your heart to be like this, or are you just unfit? And most people are just unfit.
Yeah, no.
So what's
you
your
can be
resting heart
unfit.
rate?
You can be unfit and you're slim.
And you're slim and you're eating donuts and you're like, I don't gain weight when I eat these donuts. But you're not healthy. Your heart is not in a good state. All right.
That was eye-popping.
Well, I'm hoping. I don't want to scare you. This is also not a message of condemnation, my friend. It's one that you need to contemplate, to just sit and think. You know what? I'm not sleeping well. I'm not exercising because I'm a size 0. So you need to know what you're gonna do about it if you're going to maintain a state of health.
Wow.
So we're talking about restoration. These are the principles and the laws of health that govern your body, right? So we've looked at R, we've looked at E. Now we're going to look at S, sunlight. And, as the medical profession, we have vilified the sun. We're like, sun causes skin cancer, so you should put on your sunscreen. The sun has amazing benefits. It's got the UV lights, it's got the infrared, right? So part of the UV light spectrum is to help you have vitamin D. So it doesn't give you vitamin D. So when the rays of the sun come through and they kiss your skin, right? There are rays that will kill bacteria and things that are on it. That's why we hang our clothes outside, right? And blankets. If we think they've got germs, why do you think we put them out in the sun? Because the UVA rays is going to kill germs and bacteria. So that reduces the work of your immune system, right? And then you've got UV.
So the sun is good for me.
Yeah, especially you. So when the sun also kisses your black skin, right? Then the cholesterol that is in your body is converted to vitamin D. Now I want you to take a moment. So if I check your cholesterol levels right now and I found them to be high, me as a doctor, one of the first things I do is to check your vitamin D levels. And often I found that then your vitamin D levels are low. So what the body does is the liver says, we don't have enough vitamin D. So let's make cholesterol. And when he goes out into the sun, this cholesterol is going to be converted to vitamin D. Tell me that's not a great design.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the vitamin D is responsible for making your bones strong and for strengthening your immune system. Now, the darker you are, the more time you need in the sun, because your darkness is because you've got melanocytes, these cells that make melanin. Now, that's not the same as melatonin. Melanin. Melanin is the pigment that gives you your skin color. So black people, that is your sunscreen. When you're exposed to the sun, you get darker because it says, okay, we need we need this, but we don't need it so much. So let's create this darkness to reflect the harmful rays of the sun. Are you with me? You're looking at me, and I don't think you're hearing me.
I am hearing you.
The sun.
I am hearing you.
The darker you
I don't need the sun.
Sunscreen. No, you need more sun. So I had a young
Hey, this
patient.
lights, man. It's just you are being juggled up and down.
Yes. And you must know what is truth, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Wow.
I had this young man, he was 26. From the age of 21, he moved to Canada, dark like you. So he comes in and he's not even consulting. His sister was consulting. And they tell me that they live in Canada. They just came through. They're going home to Zim. And I look at him and say, "You live in Canada?" He said, "Yes." I'm like, "Don't you get sick up there?" He says, "Yeah, every winter I have pneumonia. I just have to take antibiotics." I'm like, "Of course, you're living on the wrong continent." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "I bet your vitamin D levels are less than 10." He's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." This boy is not consulting. Just by hearing that Dutch brother is living in Canada and in the winter there's no sun and it's cold. I said, "Go to the lab and do your vitamin D levels." And they were 7.
Whoa.
So that meant his immune system was compromised.
So
He had no way of fighting. And every year they gave him antibiotics instead of correcting his vitamin D. I said, "You need to come back onto the continent. You're going to die."
he needs the sun.
He needs the sun.
So
The little sun that he's exposed to there, because he's dark, it's being reflected back. He's not getting the benefits. He needs to have good quality sun. And you get good quality sun here on the African continent.
yeah.
It's been shown that dark black people who live everywhere else where they're not exposed to sun, they tend to have suffer from mental health issues like depression, because the sun also helps us make serotonin. And then they will suffer from health issues like compromised immune system, because we need that. During COVID, Africa was expected to do badly, but we didn't because we had the sun.
Just the sun.
Yes, and it's free, right? And it's not just vitamin D that we're not just getting the UV rays to convert cholesterol to vitamin D. We're also getting infrared. Now, a lot of people know infrared as the saunas you go into for healing. That's a concept we got from the sun, right? So there's different spectrums. There's near infrared and far infrared. I will not go into the details, but when you go into the sun and you get that warm feeling, right? You know, when mamas go into the sun and they're like, "Oh, my joints, I had arthritis and my joints are better when I sit in the sun." That's the effect of infrared. It penetrates your skin and it warms you up. It warms up your core temperature. And the different spectrums of infrared do different things. So it can help you with detoxification, with improving your blood flow, with relaxing the muscles, with pain management. So when you go to a center and they give you infrared therapy, that's what they're trying to mimic. But if you go into the sun, you get the same effect, and it charges your mitochondria. So biology 101, mitochondria are your power cells. They are the ESCOM of your body, right? If they're not charged, that means you've got load shedding. You have no energy. You spend some time in the sun, especially before 11 or after 4, because we're here in your place and it's hot.
I mean,
it's 32 degrees today, right? So we want before 11, if we want to get infrared to recharge our mitochondria, we want to spend time in the sun about 15 minutes before then, or in the late evening, so that we're not getting too much UVB, which could, you know, I'm not trying to get darker. You know, I still want to maintain a little bit of my yellow bone. And I say that jokingly, but a lot of women are causing themselves great harm because they are artificial yellow bones. So yellow bone is a concept in South Africa. I don't know if it's throughout the world, where people want to be lighter in skin. Light skinned. So this dark girl will stop going into the sun, and then the melanin is reduced because your body is like, okay, we're not being exposed to the sun, but then your vitamin D levels are low. I did a study when I ran a women's wellness center. I would check all these yellow bones, and they all had suboptimal levels of vitamin D. Were not what they were supposed to be. And I said, "You need to spend some time in the sun." And they're like, "No, but I want to look pretty." I'm like, "You're gonna just make a pretty corpse. Don't do that.
Wow.
That's not working with the body design."
Wow.
And during COVID, the people who were sick had low vitamin D levels. So get out into the sun. Get your 5 to 15 minutes, depending on the color of your skin.
I've never had such a complicated relationship with the sun, because remember we stay where the sun is. So the basic was to just stay away from the sun. Stay away from the sun as much as possible.
So we should check your vitamin D levels, man.
And I bet but I'm going to change that.
Amen.
I'm going to change that.
Yeah.
Wow. So I need the sun.
You need the sun. The darker you are, the more sun you need. Like I said, with that
Wow.
26-year-old man.
Wow.
And I'm really hoping that he heeds it, and then he can stop needing antibiotics every winter.
Wow.
Because that's just destroying his body.
Wow.
Yeah.
This has been good.
And we've only covered 3 of the laws of health.
Already, I feel like, I'm
you're
on the right
empowered.
path. I'm on the right path, man. I've just found 3 gems that are packed.
Amen.
I didn't think these things, like rest, I didn't think anything of it, like exercise. Okay, I thought it's for, toning, and
It's because you're young.
yeah.
And so your body is graceful unto you. But then during this time period, if we do these things right, we will age and still be functional. This is what the Adventist health study was showing, that these Adventists in Loma Linde,
Yes.
they were old, they were functional, like they could continue in their professions. They didn't need to retire. They were not having dimmed memory. They were not having dimmed eyesight like me. They were still walking upright. They had good quality of life. And it's because of these principles that we have.
When I turned 40, I noticed a lot of I think I think we are now going down. I'm like, now I'm not old, because initially I was. So I really need them to take heed of these things.
Yes, if you do them, you will see your health improving. You will see your health improving. Right. So we've looked at rest, we've looked at exercise, we've looked at sunlight. Then a restoration. We're coming to T. For temperance.
Okay.
Temperance is self-control. It's about doing the good things that I'm mentioning in moderation and avoiding the bad things. So for you to be able to do that, one, you must know what is good and what is bad. And then, but just because you know something is bad for you, often you're like, yeah, but I want it. So especially when it comes to food, that's our greatest weakness. So you know that deep fried foods are not good for you, right? And you're like, but I want to eat them. You know that white bread is not good for you, right? It's stripped of its nutrient, but you're like, yeah, but I like how it tastes. Self-control says, I will do what I know benefits my health, not what it is that gives me pleasure. So when we go into a deep dive of the brain, we're going to talk about this fight between the part of your brain that's responsible for desires and appetite and all of these things, that says, I want what I want, and it's not concerned with consequences of your actions. And then the part of the brain that I'm talking to you right now, that's reasoning to say, you can't be eating canned peaches and Ultramel. That stuff is loaded with sugar. You're applying for diabetes, and you're like, but I like how it tastes. And it's like, yeah, that's your limbic system's response. A limbic system is like a 2-year-old. What reasoning capacity does a 2-year-old have? They're not concerned with future consequences of current choices. So we can't be governed by a system that is not looking at the consequences in future. We must be reasonable, rational beings. We must be saying, there's too much sugar in canned peaches. Rather, I take peaches from a tree, right? And I stew them a little bit and bring out their natural sugar. And I make my own custard and I use honey in it. Or I don't even put anything because the peaches that are cooked are going to be nice and sweet. And I use the right kind of milk in making this custard. And that's what I eat as my dessert. We must eat for health and not to damage our own health. But that requires self-control. And a lot of us, we don't have self-control.
Yeah, self-control has gone out the window.
Yes, we are indulgent beings.
The body tells us what it needs, and I give it.
Yeah, it's a Romans 7 situation for you as a Christian. Go read Romans 7. So I'm teaching you these things, right? It's the same with exercise. So you're like, yo, exercise is good, it's got benefits. Tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and exercise. And then the alarm goes off. By the way, you should not be woken up by alarms, but you're disturbing your sleep cycle. So let's say you're not woken by alarm. You wake up and you see your clothes and your shoes out there ready for exercise. And you're like, what are they doing there? And you're like, oh yeah, I listened to that podcast and I said I was going to exercise. And your limbic system is like, oh, but our muscles are going to be sore. Come on, let's sleep a little bit. It's Sunday. It's a day for us to just chill in bed. You see now, there's a great big war between your limbic system that says it doesn't want anything that's uncomfortable. It's like, no, stay in bed. Don't do that. That doctor is just a bit much. We haven't been exercising and we're okay. Yeah, we're okay. Like we're okay with a heart rate of 80. You're supposed to then, in the same way that if a child said to you, I don't want to eat my vegetables, I just want to eat ice cream every day for the rest of my life. If you're a good parent, you're not gonna listen to that child. And even if they cry and they kick, you're gonna be like, there's no more ice cream. I'm not
No more.
buying that.
No.
Either you go hungry or nothing. And then because hunger is hunger, the politics of the stomach will speak. That child will eat. But if you keep giving in and keep giving them the ice cream and the 2-minute noodles, things that are not full of nutrition, then you're literally giving into their limbic system. And we do the same with ourselves because we get to make the decisions because we're not children. So we drink the alcohol and we eat the bad things and we take the drug. We don't control ourselves. We don't say, limbic system, you're going to create problems for us in the future. I'm not going to listen to you in this instance. I'm going to make a reasoned decision. That's self-control.
Wow. Also, self-control plays a very vital role in making sure that I make the right decisions.
Yes, because we know that knowledge on its own does not change behavior.
Okay.
Yes.
No, that makes sense.
All right.
That's why it's one of the principles.
Yes,
It's a
that's why
principle.
it is. It is.
You
Because
need-
what's the point of you knowing about rest and then and it's nighttime and you're like, oh, it's time for me to go to sleep. Oh, I don't feel tired. And there's that movie that I want to watch. I get they're gonna put all the best programs on at night. There's that movie I wanna watch. It starts at 5 to 10 when you're supposed to be sleeping. And that means it's quite long. So self-control is supposed to say, no, go to sleep. And then maybe you're saying, but we're living in the time of programming. And then the worst things we do when we get to bed that disturbs our sleep and this requires self-control is then we go on YouTube or TikTok and we get these shorts, these little shorts, you watch them and then you scroll. And with all of these scrolling, you get a dopamine hit. Dopamine is something that drives you. So you just keep doing it. And you were feeling sleepy, but now you feel awake and alert. You know what I'm talking about? When you went to bed and you were saying, I'm going to sleep, I'm so tired. And then you're like, oh, see, this thing, it's keeping me awake and alert. You're not thinking that it's taking away your dopamine is making it, you're enjoying it. And that disrupts your sleep. You understand?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that requires self-control. You're supposed to say, now it's time for sleeping. It's not time for me to be scrolling on my phone. That's part of restoration. That's another principle of health. So we've got a few more to go.
Oh, wow.
I know it can be overwhelming. So if it's necessary, take a pause, take a breather, think about it, go for a walk, digest it. You don't need to watch this in one sitting. Just remember where you are. And then come back though and learn because you don't want to perish for lack of knowledge. Right? If you're already doing these other ones, wait and see if you're doing all of them. Because the more of the principles of health you have in place, the greater your health is going to be and the greater the restoration is going to be. So then we come to O. That's not in New Start. O is for oxytocin. Oxytocin is a chemical that's made in the brain. So it's a chemical that mothers make when they're breastfeeding. It's a chemical that lovers make when they're bonding to one another. It's a bonding hormone. So it allows for our social need of being connected with other people. But it also has a healing effect on the body. And it also, other than social connections, is that it also lowers the stress hormone, which is cortisol. The two cannot coexist at the same time. You can't be stressed and be releasing oxytocin at the same time. You're releasing one or the other. So let's say you go out to work, right? And you're working and everybody's just, the phone calls are coming and everybody's just, and you're stressed at work. When you come home, you want to come to a place where whoever is there is like, oh, we've missed you so much. already you're thinking, huh? That you release a little bit of oxytocin. Then they
Mm.
give you a hug. You release oxytocin. Then they give you a glass of nice water to drink.
Mm.
And you're like, oh, and they're not troubling you about the trash and what the dogs did, and they're not troubling you. They're not giving you any kind of stress, right? And then they give you your good food, healthy food to eat, and you're like, oh, and then your wife takes you to the bedroom and she rubs you and she gives you some good loving. Man, that cortisol is gone. That oxytocin helps to reset you. We need to create our homes to be centers of oxytocin releasing.
Wow.
Right. So it is not good for man to be alone. That's not just you. It's not good for individuals to be living in isolation. You do not release oxytocin in isolation, except if you are having a prayerful moment, a conversation between you and a loving God. A
Okay.
loving God. It must
Okay.
be the right kind of God.
Okay.
Yeah, a loving God. Then you can release oxytocin. So you say, I'm not married, I don't have kids, so I can't release oxytocin. You can join a group, a church group. You can do a feeding scheme. You can find somebody on your phone who you know is struggling with something, and you have a conversation with them about them. You're helping them. You're listening to them. They will release oxytocin for having been seen and having been heard and having been cared for. And you will release oxytocin for also doing good. So when we do good to others without expecting anything in return, not even a thank you, and we do it because it is right to do, our reward is that we release oxytocin and they also release oxytocin.
And then it benefits me.
And it benefits you. It lowers your stress hormone. My job is the best oxytocin releasing, because people are telling me their problems all day and I don't take it like that. I'm like, Lord, this person is really struggling. How are we going to help them? So I'm communicating with God and I'm genuinely trying to help you. So I'm releasing oxytocin all the time. I forget all about my problems. You understand? The cortisol level is like low. When somebody comes with something that's a lot and a heavy burden, I think one of these days I told you, I was like, oh, that thing that came was very heavy. Literally, I had to then take it to the Lord in prayer so that He could exchange my cortisol for oxytocin. Give me your yoke, for my burden is easy and my yoke is light.
So, I mean, the family is very good.
Very important. Your social network must be real and it must be important. It can't just be people on social media where you take a selfie and you put it there and then you wait for likes. That's not releasing oxytocin. That's releasing dopamine. That gets you addicted. You're releasing the wrong thing. And even with intimacy with your partner, be careful that you are being bonded to your partner and not engaging in an act that just is a stress reliever and dopamine releasing. So it's just about pleasure. And men can fall into this one where it's just about pleasure, but then you feel unsatisfied afterwards. Oxytocin will give you the sense that I am satisfied, I am seen, I am loved, I am accepted. You have bonded with this person. But people who end up being sex addicts, right? It's not oxytocin they're releasing because they're not bonded. What drives them is a desire for pleasure, only pleasure. It's not about the other person. It's not about being bonded. It's not about being connected. It's about satisfying the me, myself, and I. It's the danger with also self-pleasing, masturbation. It's that you are being driven by dopamine. So you're never satisfied. So once the high comes down, then you need to engage again. But if you're with a person and you release oxytocin, you're content and you're there and you're bonded with them and you're like, yo, I'm good, I'm okay. And that's why when temptation passes there, you're like, yeah, you look fine, or you look good, or you're tall, dark, and handsome. But I am so happy, I'm so contented, I am so full of oxytocin. I don't need none of that. You're not chasing pleasure. So oxytocin is important. You see how
So it's different from dopamine.
It's different from dopamine. Look, dopamine has its place. It gives us a drive, right? Dopamine, when I come into your studio, I release dopamine because I love doing this kind of work, right? But I'm also releasing oxytocin, but it's in a balanced manner. This is giving me pleasure, but it's also benefiting other people. It's not just about, so people who are looking for fame are not looking to benefit other people. So they get dopamine rush from being seen and being liked and being all of that. But when we're doing this genuinely for other people, I enjoy it because I know it. So dopamine helps to give me motivation, that I wake up in the morning and I'm like, we're going into studio to record, we're going to benefit people. I'm releasing oxytocin at the same time in a balanced manner.
Okay.
All right.
That was nice.
Yes, that's part of the deep dive into the brain. So once you understand your brain, you need to be led by the right thing, not by the wrong thing.
Wow, oxytocin.
Oxytocin, yeah. So you can see somebody doing good, but Kanti, they're doing it for likes. That's why it says God loves a cheerful giver. Not a cheered for giver. I heard somebody say they're not looking to be cheered for. They're happy to do it. It releases oxytocin in them.
Wow.
All right, we've got 1, 2, 3,
Wow.
4, 5, 6. We still have a lot to do, but these other ones are quite easy. The next law of health is rehydration.
Yes, you must. Oh, okay. Let me,
Yes. Our body is about 40 to 70% water, depending on whether you're a child, an adult, and male or female. And so we need water in our system.
Okay.
We need to be hydrated all the time. So we need to continue to rehydrate. When we sweat, we're losing out water. When we urinate, we're losing out water. So we need to be replacing it. And we need to be putting in cleaner water. And then our kidneys are responsible for filtering it and cleaning it and keeping it healthy. So when you don't drink water, what happens? Your skin becomes dry, your joints become dry. So some people have joint issues and skin issues because they're not drinking enough water. Saliva needs water. So you may have a dry mouth because you're not drinking enough, you're not making enough saliva. Your gastric juices, your stomach contents needs to make fluid. So we need to be dehydrating. Some people have headaches because they're not drinking enough water. So how much water do you need to drink? Truly, it is your weight in kilograms multiplied by 0.03, right? That and on average, that gives you about anywhere from 2 to 3 liters of water. And this water is going to be used for different purposes, as I mentioned. So it needs to be water. It can't be fizzy drinks because they're full of sugar. It can't be caffeinated beverages because actually caffeine is a diuretic, meaning it gets you passing out water. It can't be beer. People say, let's save water and drink beer because beer is a diuretic. It means you're going to pass out water. For every 1 cup of a caffeinated beverage you take, you need to replace it. You lose 3 cups of water. So let's say you wake up in the morning and you have 2 cups of water. Then that means you're going to lose 6 cups. You have 2 cups of coffee, 2 cups of coffee or 2 cans of Red Bull or whatever energy drink that's full of caffeine. You're going to lose about 6 cups of water. So that's before you even take the 2 to 3 liters that you need. You're starting out at a deficit. You're starting out with a negative that you must put in.
Wow.
And then if you don't put that in, then you're going to suffer the consequences. You will find that if you drink juices and all of these things, you can drink more. But water, there comes a point when you have had enough, you can't take any more.
No.
Yeah, that's because water is not a drug. It's a physiological need. So before you, when you're feeling thirsty, first have water. Satisfy your water need. Then you can have the other things afterwards because there's no stop. They release dopamine again. So you'll just keep wanting to have more and more because they're for pleasure. So yeah, drink our water.
It's like you came here to attack me. You're just attacking me everywhere, with everything.
Maybe I came here because God wants to save you.
You're just attacking me. I feel yeah.
Not a message of condemnation, but one of contemplation.
Yeah, no, it's been very, very eye-opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, like too much.
Too much.
Yeah. Like
you want us to stop?
No. I'm not saying we're stopping. I want to know.
You want to?
I want to know.
And I hope that this knowledge translates into doing, because it really will benefit your own health. Then you don't need to see the doctor so often. All right. We're almost done. Then there's the A for air. We need oxygen. We need fresh air. The old houses used to have air bricks.
Yes.
And the new ones don't.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time people are in closed spaces and there isn't any fresh air coming in. So you need to check the design of your house. If you're building a new house, make sure they put in air bricks.
Oh.
During the day, make sure you open your windows. If you're comfortable to sleep with windows open at night, I had a woman come in and she was having headaches every day. By the time she knocks off at work, she's got a headache. And then she was like, I'm tired of taking painkillers. And I was like, where do you work? She says, I work in a mall. And I'm like, is there fresh air where you are? She says, no, we're down there in whatever. It's almost like in the basement. And I'm like, are there plants? And she said, yes, there are plants, because plants give us, they take carbon dioxide and give us oxygen. And I said, are they real? She said, I would check, and they were plastic plants. So that didn't help. So often I say to people, if you're working in that, so I said to her, if you're working in that environment, you're not getting fresh air every day. That's going to, you're not getting oxygen. And for your body to make energy, it needs oxygen. Your brain needs oxygen. 5 minutes without oxygen, your brain dead, right? So I said to her, when your colleagues go for a smoke break, tell the manager you're going for an oxygen break so that you can go up, go where where the people are not smoking, obviously, and just get to breathe in some air. So let's make sure we're getting oxygen. This one is very easy to remedy. In the morning when you wake up and you go for your walk, you're spending time in the sun. So you're exercising, you're walking, you're drinking your water in your bottle, and you're getting fresh air. You can do like 4 laws at one go. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be, oh, I must find time. Just clump them together. Yeah. So that's fresh air for us, right?
At least that's better.
Yes, that one you're doing. It's not too hard, yeah.
Yeah, I thought I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty. I'm not dying here.
And then often we're in our cars, and it's hot, and so we switch on the aircon, and because we're feeling cool, we think we're getting fresh air. We're not. So you want it to be fresh air.
Okay.
And obviously, if you're living in the city, that's not good quality air. So that's why being out in the countryside where there's lots of trees. Oh, when we drove here, if you've never been to this side of the world, you have to come. Just driving here, the amount of trees that were there, I'm like, yo, there's so much oxygen. Here, good quality air, no pollution. You don't see the smog laying on top of any of the places. So make sure it's good quality air. And then the other T is for a new start. We call it trust in God. It's important. It helps us regulate our stress. But here I actually termed it truth. Because it's important to know what is truth. And there is truth that is absolute. And then to live in accordance with that truth. And all these principles I have given you are truth, because they are observable, they are reproducible, they are scientific, because God is the greatest scientist.
Of course, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm a creation scientist.
Yeah.
So it's important to know what is truth. If you believe lies, if you believe I'm a night owl and so I can work at any time and sleep at any time, then you're believing lies and you're going to suffer the consequences of believing a lie. So we need to know that the things we believe about the physical design, or about our psychology, or even about spiritual things are true.
Wow.
Because if you believe that your doctor is infallible and everything that they give you is right, and you take it and then you realize that was not so, you'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
So we are to be seekers of truth, find what is truth, and then once you know, live within it, because then the truth will set you free.
Wow.
But for us Christians, truth is a person. I'm the way, the truth, and the light. So his name is Christ.
Yeah.
So we need to do that. So the law of truth is important. And then we've got 3 left. I is for imagination. And you're thinking, how is that a law of physical health? That's got to do with my mind. Some people, Paul, are sick because of their thoughts. Yeah. They're constantly thinking, oh, I think I'm sick. Oh, I think I'm going to get sick. Or they're constantly worried about everything in the world. So they're anxious. And any emotion that you feel, it starts out as an emotion. It becomes an electrical firing, and then it becomes a chemical. So you're constantly worrying, so you're going to release stress hormone, cortisol. So now it's nighttime, melatonin is trying to come up, and you're releasing cortisol. Cortisol and melatonin can't coexist. Now your partner is trying to give you some oxytocin, and you're adamant to stay in your stress releasing, and now you're fighting with your partner, you're releasing more cortisol. It's important to to monitor your thoughts and to not entertain every thought that comes and to be thinking correctly.
Wow.
And also what you allow, what you're watching on TV. You could be watching things that make you troubled. You know, during COVID in Gauteng, they dug 1 million graves. Can you imagine? There's this lockdown. This is a new thing that has not happened in the world, right? They've locked you down. They say there's this virus. You have no idea. You don't understand. Doctors are saying we don't know what to do. Already you're scared and you're anxious, and you switch on the news. And the MEC of health is there, and they're showing you on the news that he's digging 1 million graves in Gauteng. And you're thinking, so we're going to die. 1 million people. Am I going to be one of them? And a lot of my patients call me and they're like, I'm scared. And I said, stop watching the news. Now it's filling your mind with things that are scary. When then I could fill their minds with things, this is what you need to do. Don't eat this, it's going to compromise your immune system. If you're living in a house, go out into the sun and improve your vitamin D levels. You know, so that affected people's imaginations. I know people who have never watched the news from that time forward because they were like, what it fed my mind was fear.
Constantly
So
in a state of you're terrified. As if,
exactly.
you know, once we get here, we're gonna die. And wow.
So whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, if there be any virtue, think on these things.
Oh, yeah.
Watch what you're thinking of. I'm not saying that ignore the realities of life, but if you're having troubles, cast your burdens unto Jesus so that your mind is clear. Because otherwise, if your mind is troubling you, you're going to struggle to sleep, you're going to struggle to eat, you're going to struggle with motivation, you're going to struggle to keep any of these laws of health. And then you for sure, you're going to be sick when it started in here. There are people who are sick because they're focused on being sick. And even when you're sick, a merry heart doeth good like medicine.
Wow.
But a broken spirit drive out the bones,
Yeah.
right? So when you have a broken spirit, we're dwelling on the things that happen to us. And physiologically, how does it dampen the bones, drive the bone? You stop making red blood cells and white blood cells, which red blood cells are for carrying oxygen, white blood cells are for your defense. So you compromise your own immune system. So it's a biblical and a scientific and a physiological fact that a merry heart doeth good like medicine. What's a merry heart? It's oxytocin. It's healing to the body. Right? So
wow.
That's imagination.
That's the imagination. So
yes.
you must make sure that you guard the imagination actually.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life.
Issues of life.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
that has been very beautiful. Yeah.
You see, there's a lot of things we can do before you run to the doctor. Just get these things right, and you might find you don't need your doctor.
You don't need your doctor. There's no need.
There's no need.
Yeah. In every way, shape, or form, really.
Yeah. And then there's O. This is the one that makes me unpopular with women. It's for outfit. Anything we put on our body should not interfere with the functioning of the body. Anything we put on our body should not interfere with the functioning on your body. So whether you are putting on a weave and it's hot and it's getting your scalp all hot and irritated, whether you're relaxing your hair and you're putting on chemicals. So I know it's not an outfit, but the word encompasses all of that. And it's irritating your scalp and it's giving you dandruff and your scalp is always itchy. There are nerves there that send information to the brain. Or you're putting on dyes to your hair. Did you know that hair dye causes liver cancer? Because these things make their way into the body. And so it interferes with the working of the body. And then there's things that we wear. So women, you want to have a nice hourglass shape. So you're wearing this corset that is tight and it's pushing your liver on one side and it's pushing your stomach and it's pushing your spleen, and things are not working well because you're trying to have a certain shape. And then we take our young boys and we put them in skinny jeans and it takes their little testicles and it pushes them against the hot body so that they're not able to regulate. Remember, when it's hot, they come down. When it's cold, they go up. That's self-regulation. You're affecting that. And then we put on shoes, right? These high heels that malalign your entire body from your toe. Your toe is bent, right? Your foot is arched abnormally. Your Achilles tendon is shortened. because now you're like this, then your ankles are unbalanced, right? And then your knees are not aligned properly, and then your pelvis is thrown forward. So everything that's inside of there is kind of moved out of place. And then your spine is also not aligned, and your head that's sitting on that is also not well aligned. And then your muscles are trying to adjust to this, trying to walk on stilts when you were not designed to be walking like that. And we think it's beautiful. We sacrifice our health at the altar of fashion. Anything that is fashionably designed that does not serve how the body works, we need to be wise. We just need to reject it. So this is how my hair grows out of my head. Imagine I'm in this here place and I've got a weave on so that I can seemingly look pretty. What's not pretty about my hair? My 4C curly hair. Like, who said it's not pretty? Right? So and then to try and make it look right and straight, then I put on hair relaxers. And then I'm putting on these chemicals into my body. So I'm sacrificing my health at the altar of acceptance and fashion.
And the skin does take what we put on top of it.
Yes, thank you for that. So there's a young woman who wrote a book.
That scared me when I learned about that.
Yes.
The other time.
She wrote a book called When Beauty Kills, because she ended up with breast cancer, and she realized the lipsticks, the mascaras, the foundation that she was putting on, all those things had interfered with her hormones, and some of them were carcinogenic. Carcinogenic means they cause cancer, right? And that's what she had been applying, and she just thought, she's just wanting to look pretty. I had a young woman come into our center, worked in when we still had a lifestyle center in KwaZulu Natal, in Pietermaritzburg. And it was sad because she had a beautiful family, a husband that loved her, 2 kids, and she had liver cancer, and she was a Christian, very angry with God, Christian Adventist, very angry with God for having allowed her to get liver cancer when she had never touched alcohol in her life. But then I looked at the pictures of her on Facebook, and she had been dyeing her hair like 4 times a year. And then now you're angry with God for something that out of ignorance you have done, that you've been applying this. And she died, and life had to go on. Her children are without her.
So basically, these diseases are not things that must be there.
No.
We cause them.
Yes. Because we follow the world, not realizing that
there's a breaking point. There's miscommunication between you and your body, and you do things that are hateful to your body, and you just constantly want. I mean, like from restoration to where we are now, there's everything that we do wrong.
Yes.
And that causes us to have problems which we're not supposed to be having if we had right information.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
When I was working with Banyana, they were very careful about the shoes that they wore. Because we didn't want them breaking their ankles and then not being able to play football. But we in our daily lives are not careful about the shoes that we wear. So that's what I mean when we talk about outfits, and the things that we put on our body. An average woman, by the time she leaves the house in the morning, she's been exposed to over 200 different chemicals, from what she uses to brush her teeth, which has fluoride, what soap she uses in her body, to the masks and the exfoliations and the products and the perfumes and the antiperspirant. We talked about cough suppressant. Now we have antis against perspirant, against perspiration. Is there a reason why we perspire, why we sweat? Yes. It's to cool ourselves down and to get rid of some of the waste in a liquid waste. So why would you use an antiperspirant? Oh no, because I don't want to smell. No, the reason we smell is because of the bacteria that's on our skin. So there are things that we can use and we don't need. So we'll talk about it when we talk about remedies. Now I'm putting things in place. So, anytime I buy things from the shop, I'm like, I don't want an antiperspirant. And then when I buy soaps for bathing, I'm like, I don't want an antibacterial soap. I'm supposed to have good bacteria covering my body. Now I'm going to take this antibacterial soap and wash away all the bacteria. Then I'm going to have the bad bacteria coming to colonize me. And you know, colonizers are often rarely ever coming to do good. Yeah. There are good colonizers and bad colonizers. So we need to be wise, and this is why we're learning these things. Anything we put on to our body must not be interfering with how the body functions. Women and bras, you know, we've got these wire bras that are pressing and interfering with the flow of the lymphatic system. Wire bras are just not good. So we need to have those, you know, the wireless bras that they're making. But it's just that, oh, but wire bras look better because they've got those push-up bras, isn't it? So we want to look sexy. And you're like, yeah, but then do you want to risk getting breast cancer? So these are the things that we need to know. Not everything that the world advertises to us, we need to go and get. All right. And then let's get to the last, but definitely not the least of them all. Nutrition. 95% of the diseases in the world are caused by what we eat. So it might be last, but it's definitely not the least. We are not eating real food.
95%.
95%
Of the diseases are from what we eat.
What we eat.
What I take into my body.
Ah, yes.
What is 95%?
Look at type 2 diabetes. Only 5% of people, no, type 2 diabetes is caused by, it's a lifestyle disease, right? Of all the diabetes, it's because there's type 1. Type 1 diabetes only forms like, it's in 5% of the population. Everybody else has type 2 diabetes. And that's a lifestyle disease. That means you're breaking one of these laws. Either you're not sleeping right, so you're affecting how insulin is released, or you're not exercising, so your body is not sensitive to insulin, right? Or you're not practicing self-control, so you're just eating all the time. Even if you're eating good food, you're eating even late at night when you're not supposed to be eating.
You eat once a day, all day long.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's a never-ending
yeah,
event. You're at 7-Eleven.
Yeah, you just
your mouth is open. Your mouth is a 7-Eleven. From 7 when you wake up, 11 at night, you just It's a problem. We love eating, but it's to our detriment. You know, we're digging our graves with our forks and our hands, as Africans, because we eat with our hands, right? So you've got type 2 diabetes because you're eating badly. All your food is highly processed. So nutrition is important. So what should we be eating? Well, let's look at the human design. We are herbivores by design and carnivores and omnivores by choice. Because now there are people who are carnivores. There are people who are on a carnivore diet. They only eat meat. I saw this family, they had gone on a carnivore diet because they said it benefited the father. But how I found out was they brought in the 8-year-old son and he had joint pain. And I was like, this looks like gout, but he's 8. An 8-year-old is not supposed to have gout. And so I treated it as if it was something else. And then I called them the following day. I'm like, is he any better? They're like, no, he seems to be getting worse. I said, look, just indulge me. Can you take him to the lab? Let's check his uric acid level. And it came back and it was high. I'm like, yo, I don't know what to do with you. Your child has gout and he's 8. That doesn't make sense. And she said, it makes sense to me. I'm like, why? She says, we're on a carnivore diet. I'm like, why? They said, well, you know, that the father has mental health issues and they found her going on a carnivore diet. I'm like, we are herbivores by design, carnivores and omnivores by choice. In Genesis 1:29, the great designer says, behold, I have given you every fruit-bearing seed. In Genesis 3:18, he introduces the herbs of the field, which were initially for the animals. So he said, look, you've got fruits that you can eat and grains, and then he introduces the plants, right? And so that becomes our diet, a whole food plant-based diet. And then people are like, yeah, but in after the flood, then he tells them they could eat meat. Yeah, the vegetation is gone. And in Genesis 5, when the hearts of men were wicked continually, they were eating whatever they wanted to be eating. They were bloodthirsty, right? And he says, and you see, when we start eating meat, what happens to the age of the people in the Bible? it drastically reduces from 900 years to like 120 years if they're lucky, right?
That's like 10% of the years.
Can you imagine?
That's scary.
Yeah. And then
we are living 10% of our lives.
And then in Leviticus, he introduces clean and unclean meat. But ultimately in Revelation, and because we're going back to where we started, we see that in the new earth, we will not be killing chickens so that we can fry them. But even science is shown, that's why there's lifestyle medicine that shows that a whole foods plant-based diet is anti-inflammatory in nature. So it deals with all these lifestyle diseases. So that's what we're supposed to be eating. So what is a whole foods plant-based diet? So it's whole foods. So it's not, so white bread is made from wheat, but the wheat is not whole. They've given you what's on the inside and they've taken out the bran. So it has a constipating effect, right? So that's not what you want to eat. We want to eat whole wheat bread. You want to eat your corn unpolished. You want to be eating so people say brown, you don't have brown corn. You want to eat your corn. It can be yellow or it can be white, but you want to have it with the husks. And there's barley, there's a lot of, there's rye, there's sorghum, there's millet, there's a lot of grains that we can be eating. And some of these grains have not been tampered with. So I love sorghum because sorghum is still quite pure. And I'm Tswana, so we like it. We ferment it very nicely. So then you need to be having fruits as well. And that's why I love your province. Fruits galore. Oh, I'm going to enjoy some mangoes and some lychees and some peaches. I've been eating the peaches. So we want to have variety of fruits. We want to have our vegetables, all right? So this is what maintains our health on a day-to-day basis. We want to have, so people were like, oh, but with the protein, we need the protein. No, you need the amino acids. And you can get a lot of them from the legumes, the beans, the lentils, the peas, your chickpeas, your split peas. So that's where you can get your amino acids. You're like, but what about protein? Look, a cow has a lot of muscle, but it doesn't eat other animals to get protein to have muscles, right? It eats the grass, right? So in plant material, there are amino acids. Amino acids are the building block. When they combine together, they form protein. So when you eat your plant material, you're going to get these things to make your own protein. And it's a very efficient way. It's a better way. It's a cleaner way. When you get will you get protein from meat? Yes. When you have your steak, you're going to get protein, and then the body will be like, yeah, but we need to break it down into amino acids because the cow made it for itself. So you break it down into amino acids, and then you get rid of the waste. That's why the uric acid and other waste, the creatinine that come, and then you build it up into the kind of protein that you want. So why not just go to the source? You want what the cow ate, not what the cow made for itself. So a whole foods plant-based diet is important. So people will be like, oh, but a whole foods plant-based diet is not going to give you vitamin B12, right? Okay. So the cow, when you eat its steak, has vitamin B12, but the cow did not eat another one. So I have to reason up. I have to answer people's questions. And then it's that, yes, it's the bacteria in the gut of the cow that eats the good bacteria. It eats the plant material and it makes vitamin B12 for the cow. Because the good bacteria are like good colonizers. They work together with the host. So even us, when we have good bacteria in our gut and we haven't wiped it out by using antibiotics all the time, when we eat this plant material, that good bacteria makes vitamin B12 for us. So if you're not having enough vitamin B12, you need to look at maybe you don't have the good bacteria, or maybe you don't have enough acid in your gut so that it can be absorbed properly. That's another science. And then people are like, but what about iron? Yeah, if you eat well enough, you will make iron. You don't need to be eating liver and all of these things to build your iron levels. You can. I was most anemic when I was eating more meat. So a whole foods plant-based diet is the best diet for this human design. And those are the laws of health.
Oh, wow.
The principles of health.
Oh, wow.
Restoration.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful. Norman, thank you very much for this wonderful study. I think I've learned a lot. I still need to digest some of these things and really put them into practice and really, yeah, this has been interesting. And
I want to close with just one reading. It's called The Restorative Power
okay.
in Nature, if I can just find it. But anyway, even if I don't find it, maybe we can just attach it. It's simply that in nature, we have been given everything we need to restore our body to health. You see that a lot of these things are just natural things. You put this foundation in place, and you will find your health being restored back.
Wow.
If you're not sick, you will just find that you get healthier. And if you're sick, even if you don't completely reverse because maybe some damage has really set in, you will find that you improve the quality of your life.
Okay.
And really, that's what you need to do. And as a physician, that is my job, to educate you.
Okay.
And to not, it's easier to give you a pill. It's more difficult to have this conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm accountable to God for what I do.
Wow.
Remember, I was angry with him that he's not doing anything, and he showed me, no, you're the one who's doing the wrong thing. So educate my people and then let them make a choice. If those who want to be healthy, they will put the things in place for health. And then those who want, at least they can't say that they didn't know. We can't plead ignorance. So
wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very, very much for coming. And we are going to do another one.
Yes.
Yes, we need to do another one and on what you were talking about. And it is wow. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for coming. And please, everyone, don't forget to subscribe, share, like, comment, ask questions if there's anything I wanted to answer. Let's talk. This will benefit us in every way. There's no way we cannot benefit from this. So you can just ask any question. You can comment. You can say if you like it or not. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.